building information modeling, which I basically am enthusiast about. I teach. I am very much excited about BIM, and I would love to take sessions later on through SkillLink. BIM, I want to develop courses for building information modeling, and this is the this is the future actually of civil engineering and construction, not only in the infrastructure and construction. So this is which again AutoCAD is a primary which is going to mature to building information model, and these are the software. Not only Revit, Navisworks, and BIM 360 are not only software. There are a bunch of softwares, and there is an immense scope of building information modeler today in the market, because most of the companies who are like the L&T, definitely today they're hiring an engineer, so they are looking for people who have AutoCAD as well as the BIM. Uh, any L&T, DLF, or whatever it is, everybody is going towards a 3D modeling and parametric modeling route. So this is something, a very essential thing that is going to come in the near future. So GIS is something I have not put it over here, which is also my forte area, the geographical information system. Post-COVID, if you look into it, there are a lot of GIS work is going to happen, and still the GIS work is happening. So whether it is a sustainable design where we are working for wind farms, or where we are working for energy efficient smart cities, and GIS is something that the students should learn. And GIS is an essential technology, and there are various job opportunities as geographical information system analyst or a developer, and a lot of things. In fact, I would also say that there are certain programming language also, some civil engineers, cross-platform trainings also that these civil engineers should learn, which would be very prevalent today as a civil engineer to get more employment in the near future. So again, I always repeat that we should not forget, because when we evaluate ourselves, what are the skills we always talk about? When we interview civil engineers, or when we interview any person for a project. So these are the things that I look into it, or we look into it. Is a trainable kind of thing. I mean, a person should have a good civil engineering, level of mathematics and physics. Like mechanics is something that they should know about. They should be very much, excited about what the physics and mechanics is, and mathematics, basic calculations, because throughout the civil engineering there's a lot of mathematics, but still, people, I find that there are very low level of mathematical quotient. I mean, mathematical skills are there in the students today who are graduating, and basic unit systems like unit systems, conversions, and there are a lot of things in the mathematics that there. So let's put in the way, if a structural engineer wasn't able to accurately work how much weight is being distributed through a bridge, I for one wouldn't like to be driving anywhere near the bridge. So definitely. So this is something, if or what we say today, we hire a civil engineer or an architect, because today we feel that if they design something, if we go to a doctor, which is MBBS or an MD, so we would look forward that he has the knowledge and the expertise of treating me. Similarly, if I'm building a house or a project, if I hire a civil or architectural engineer as compared to a non-civil engineer or a contractor, so I have a better trust over the civil engineer that he would be doing a good job, because he is basically trained for doing so. So this is what is expected from the civil engineers, that they should have a good technical skill, good techniques when working with maps, drawings, and models, as well as the CAD software. That's very, very essential, I feel. Project management is something, yeah, definitely. I mean, all engineers should have a good project management skills, specifically when you are working as a civil engineer, where you have to work with different kind of people, the laborers, the contractors. This is the only field where a civil engineer, when he walks to a site, he has to deal with all type of people, whether it is a labor, whether it is a contractor or a client, a director of a company, or a customer. It can be any. So the project management, how to deal with these people, I'm not talking about the communication skills, will be the next part, is how to manage with these people, the manpower, as well as how to manage various things like the transportation, the machines, the vehicles, the materials, the budgets, everything. I mean, everything has to be managed and should be according to the project management ethics, like the CPM or the whatever we learn in the construction management about how to do an inventory, and what is the best practice of project management. That is basically a civil engineer should know. Again, with project management, they cross communication skills like one should have, like should be communicated. One thing is that again, CAD is a communication, computer drafting. The drawing that we are making is basically a tool. So if I have a drawing, and if I am from, let's say, Portugal, and I have a drawing, a person in India can understand that drawing because the language should be same. So if first thing is that the communication is first, would not be the medium, would be the language, English, Hindi, Arabic, or whatever I'm using. It's that through the drawing the communication should be important, and then the language comes, like in which language I am trying to express my idea, trying to express my innovations, trying to express my design, and trying to express my thoughts should be very clear. Because we should be civil engineers should be have a good listening skill, because they have to listen to different types of problems day in day out. And every day there will be thousands of snags or problems and RFIs that would be coming, and they have to work. And it is not an 8-hour job. They have to work throughout the life cycle of the project, starting to the finish. So it is a very challenging job, and they have to communicate with all sort of people. So communication is something that they should have. They should have patience about listening to every people and take a decision on it. So it could be said broadly that role of civil engineers is applying engineering principles to develop solutions, definitely for built environment. That means our role is basically should be creative, like creating a beautiful stadium, or creating a beautiful house, or creating a beautiful shopping complex. uh, Along with the architecture, I would suggest that civil and architecture are both are blended, because they cannot work without each other. And more often that requires certain level of creativity. Yes, they should have creativity. Look at the bridges, the bridges that are made today, whether in Jammu or in Assam or see that there's a creativity, a level of creativity is there. So you cannot have those old school bridges that is happening. So all the designs are done through software. If software wouldn't have been there, creativity would have been not so much, because your mind can think, but at the same time you should have a tool in order uh, to to make your thought into real. So softwares, along with a good creativity and thought process, should be a part of any kind of civil engineering skill sets. Critical thinking, definitely, one should have the immense skill, civil engineering critical thinking, because we have to deal with complex problem. We face complex problem day to day, time to time, and we should have pros and cons of all the possible solutions. So this is what I wanted to say. And computer aided drafting and design. So most of the people today, in fact, they it is something like a lingo. AutoCAD. So CAD is not with AutoCAD. CAD is basically the computer aided drafting that came at Industrial Revolution 3.0. We are now in 4.0. When we started using computers to do something, do certain things like the programs. So computer aided drafting is the same, the drafting process that is done through computers. So CAD allows what previously what happened, there were thousands and thousands of draftsmen working for a project. So the computer replaced the boards and the drafter with a PC or a desktop, or and then a software to make it easy. So that was a time way back in 80s and 90s when people started learning CAD, uh, whether be it AutoCAD or any other CAD softwares that was capable of taking the CAD project, computer drafting, whether it be MicroStation or AutoCAD. AutoCAD is one of the old computer aided drafting software, one of the first computer drafting software after MicroStation is also there. But any software that can do drafting through computers is a CAD software. So CAD allows for easier development of products and product management integration, definitely. So if any software I take, let's say if I take AutoCAD, or there are plenty of CAD software right now. So AutoCAD is the trademark of Autodesk. So AutoCAD is one of the CAD software. So there is another more software like MicroStation, ZWCAD, and that. But the working principle is same. We have to make the same plan, elevations, and sections. So when we talk about CAD, means this is a process by which we develop drawings. We develop communications between different stakeholders. So in the engineering world, CAD is extremely important, definitely, whether it's a manufacturing or whether it is any kind of engineering where the communication is made through drawings. CAD is very, very important. So there is CAD drawings offer flexibility. So these are something to draft and design in a digital sphere, definitely. So now we from CAD we are going towards Industry 4.0. Next technology would be BIM and Industry 4.0. that is a next stage towards development of technology. So it was manual design prior to CAD, then CAD, now it is basically parametric design. So in this course, I would be teaching students, telling them how to download the software of AutoCAD, and this is something that I wanted to do. And a brief introduction about AutoCAD is basically was developed by John Walker in the year 1982 with the help of Autodesk and maintained its success. So it was basically it was used in DOS prior to Windows. They used to work in DOS, and it was very difficult to work in the DOS platform. But in the year 2000, they developed the AutoCAD 2014 and 2000 in the Windows platform, that was 3.1. Then onwards they have started developing. Every year they used to develop. Autodesk develops a new version. Now we are going with the 2021 version, which is recently launched in the month of April. So it has all the capabilities of 2D and 3D design for professional drafting. So there are different languages. So this is what it is offers. Some of the drawings I wanted to show. This is some 2D drawings for a project. So if when once you do a project, the drawings will be made like this, and there will be other projects also I can show, like these are structural drawings, how our basically industry is required, and how to read this drawing is very important. So there are various good thing about AutoCAD, but then it is an essential part for any civil engineer. Apart from that, when we are working on a project, it is very essential to know about certain codes. So when we for drafting codes, there's IS 962, 7973, SP27. So it will be referred for the students along with the National Building Code while they will be taking a course to learn this and to refer this for various projects that will be given to them.